What's up, YouTube? It's Josh Creates here with part 13 to TikTok events about inflation. So without further ado, let's get right into this video.
It's absolutely mind-boggling when you have to explain inflation to somebody who's older than you, right? When, because say you're making $40,000 a year today, right? And you go talk to some boomer and they find out you're making $40,000. They'll say something like, "Oh, I was making $40,000 a year back in 1970. And I could buy a house in a second lake house." Well, you want to know what $40,000 in 1970 is the equivalent of today? $100,000. Are you confused? It's because I lied. It's $250,000. Are you confused? It's because I lied again. It's $310,000. If you made $40,000 in 1970, it was like making $310,000 today. And yet, a dozen eggs costs like $8.50.
No cool intro, no fancy music. I just want to explain inflation in 6 minutes. I have a degree in economics. I spent years trying to understand this. So let's see if I can boil it down. What is inflation? Why is it rising? Why are people worried? And what do interest rates have to do with it?
The Federal Reserve is raising the interest rate
to raise interest rates.
Highest inflation in 40 years.
Listen, I know that I make long videos. I'm into nuance, I'm into backstory. Well, this isn't that. This is quick. No, really, this is quick. Let's go. Okay, first up, the simplest definition. Inflation is when there is more money in the economy than stuff to spend it on. But if you're like me, the simplest definition never does it for you. So let's try this. Imagine a village that has one market where people buy all of their stuff, their food, their clothes. But one day the government shows up because they're worried about the economy of this village. So they tell the people that if they want to take out a loan, they're going to make sure that the banks will not charge them a high interest rate. They want to encourage the people to take out loans and spend money. Oh, and they also drop off a giant pile of cash for everyone in the village. And everyone in the village is like, sweet, I'm feeling pretty rich. Villagers now are going to their market and they're buying way more stuff. Many of them have been eyeing the fancy electric bike in the market that before they couldn't justify, but now they totally can because they have all this new money. The store owner's like, sweet, this is great for business, but he's running out of bikes. In fact, he's running out of everything because now all of these people have extra money and they're buying way more than they used to. The store owner's like, I can't keep up with all this demand. I should raise prices. And that is inflation. But the village is all of us, and the market is the entire economy. When there's extra money floating around and people want to spend it faster than businesses can make stuff, then all of the businesses in all of the industries raise their prices. And that is inflation. It's a natural part of the economy. It's kind of a good thing in small doses because it means that the economy is growing. And it's why movie tickets used to be 25 cents and now they're like $15. And slowly over time, it's fine. Okay, let's go back to the village and see what happens if we keep going at this rate.
AMC movie theaters is so expensive. If you could try to find like another type of movie theater wherever you live, I advise you to do so because AMC is just, dog, you're spending like $40 in total at AMC for tickets and food. It's crazy.
The store owner has now doubled his prices on bikes. The interest rate is super low, so he takes out a loan to build a new factory to make bikes.
Not only that, but if you're looking for like anything new, before you go buy it full price at like a factory or like the outlet store or something, like for example a new bike, what I did when I got my bike, before I decided to buy a whole new bike, I shopped around on OfferUp. If you don't know what OfferUp is, it's a place where people sell their items that they personally own, right? So I shopped around OfferUp. I looked up on mountain bikes near me, and I shopped around, looked, negotiated. You can negotiate prices too at these retail stores and like outlet stores. You can't negotiate price. You have to get what they offer, get the price that they have, right? But with OfferUp, people are actually selling good things and for like a good price, and you could also negotiate the price, or if they're firm on the price, you have to pay that price, but it may not be that much. So I advise you guys to like shop around like these third-party apps like OfferUp and Mercari like I do before you go to like a retail or outlet store and pay full price for it. You'll be saving a whole bunch of money.
This is good. He's growing a business. But the government money eventually runs out, and his prices are still double. But now the store owner has no one to come buy all of his new bikes. And now he has this factory and more employees, but no customers. He has to shut down the factory, lay off everyone, and slowly start lowering his prices. This is called recession. When COVID shut down the world, governments gave us money, free money. They're like, don't panic and hoard all your money. Instead, spend and borrow and keep the economy going. Here in the US, they literally sent us $3,200 checks. They gave $600 a week to people who were unemployed for months and months and months. They gave subsidies to people with kids. They increased spending on food stamps. I mean, trillions and trillions of dollars of stimulus money. This was vital aid to people in need. But even people who didn't lose a job got a check in the mail. It was free money for everyone. And we spent it.
I just picked up myself a new bike. Demand is up across the country.
It's time to grind, Peloton.
We all just got these big checks from the government. During a pandemic, we're like, YOLO, I'm buying a boat or a Peloton or whatever.
Pokemon cards.
There's Netflix.
Fortnite.
A new motor.
Peloton.
Soak in a hot tub.
Animal Crossing.
Push it out a little bit so it fits.
No, don't you dare!
But pair all this new spending with the fact that the pandemic also made it harder for factories and ships and retailers to get us all this stuff.
Supply chain issue.
Global supply chain.
Supply chain.
So now you have an economy where people have way more money than normal and they're ready to spend it, but the economy can't get them stuff fast enough. So what do businesses do with all this insane new demand? They raise prices all at the same time, and that is inflation. I feel like we're getting this at this point. But what do interest rates have to do with all this?
Raising the interest rate.
Interest rate.
Or the Fed?
Federal
The
Reserve.
Federal Reserve.
Most countries have a central bank, the puppet master of the economy, the bank of all banks for that country. But it's not like a normal bank that stores our money and then lends it out and collects interest to make profit. That's what a normal private bank does. The central bank, which we call the Fed here in the US, is run by the government. So their job is to set the rules or policies that all the other banks have to follow. And the central bank isn't motivated by profit, but rather their job is to babysit the economy, to keep it growing, to make sure people have jobs, to make sure that prices don't fluctuate too much so that we can keep growing nicely. No slowdown, no recession. That is what the Fed is there for. But seriously, the Fed is like a puppet master, and we are the puppets, and it's kind of creepy. They pull strings in the economy to get us to spend our money in a certain way, which in turn affects how much businesses raise or drop their prices. And guess what? It totally works. One of the strings that they have to pull in the economy is called the interest rate. Want to borrow money to buy a car or a house or expand your business? You're going to be way more likely to do that if you only have to pay 2% interest on that loan as opposed to like 6%. Lower interest rates equal people and businesses want to borrow and spend money. So during the pandemic, the central bank was like, we need everyone to spend money. So they lowered the interest rate and people borrowed and people spent, and it totally worked. We're like freaking puppets. So a low interest rate helps stimulate the economy. But once again, we're in this same place where there's now too much money to borrow and spend and not enough goods and services to spend it on. So what do businesses do all at the same time? They raise prices to meet all this new demand all at the same time. And now your money is worth less, and that is inflation.
Let me just say this. This is crazy because not only he's explaining it in a way like how it is in America, this is how it is globally now. This is how it is globally. And I'm there like, hold on. Why am I thinking like this is just in America? Imagine every country, almost majority of the countries, have this same mindset. All because of what we went through in the beginning of what, 2020 to like, I'll say like the lockdown basically, right? All because of that. Higher demand, higher prices. Wow. Raising their highest rate. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually crazy. I've never been through this before. And to see like how things go up and things fluctuate and how things are, you then ask yourself, when will it go down? When will things get back to normal? And I see some people in the comment section saying it's never gonna go back to normal. It's gonna get worse. Even these TikTok rants and vents about inflation, they always say like, hey, it's gonna get worse. It's not gonna stop. Everything is just gonna keep going up. It's crazy.
Prices rising at their highest
Astronomical
rate.
bidding wars.
Rents are going up
by nearly 24%.
So that's what's happening right now. All the prices are rising kind of at the same time. What that means is that your $100 bill is now worth 8% less than it was last year. Like the same money is worth less because your purchasing power just got diluted. And imagine if that keeps happening. Like instead of 8%, it's 50%. Now your $100 bill is worth what $50 used to be. And that's when people start to freak out. And our economy that's built on human psychology starts to falter and we fall into a recession or a depression even, if it gets real bad, which is exactly what the Fed is built to avoid. So they're back to pulling their strings and they've started raising rates.
The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates.
Federal Reserve taking action to try and curb rising inflation.
They're gently raising the interest rate to cool down all of this hardcore spending and borrowing. See if they can steer the ship back on course. And let's hope it works. Okay, did we do it? Did we do it in the time period that I...
Oh, I guess that's it. That was 6 minutes. He explained it in 6 minutes. Wow, I learned a lot. Let me know in the comment section down below if you learned a lot as well. Wow. I didn't even know I knew what inflation was. Everybody just thinks like, oh, inflation, everything, all the prices go up, which is understandable, but he deeply elaborated into like why inflation happened, how is it happening, and it's the fact that it's happening around the world too. And I can't believe, man, especially like the Canadians in Canada. So I'm hearing a whole bunch of people saying that, hey, here in Canada is crazy, it's way worse, you know, because Canada is an expensive country itself. Plus you have like the prices going up there. Come on, dog. I'm pretty sure you can't even buy like a used car comfortably in Canada. But yeah, guys, that is it for this video. My name is Josh Creates. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you want more of these type of videos. Let me know if you want conspiracy theory videos as well. I really want to do like a mixture of both, but mostly like TikTok vents, reactions, and stuff like that. Yeah, stay strong out there, guys. Like I always say, needless to say, everything will be okay. I'm Josh Creates. I'm out.